everyone. 2:00 on the dot. Let's see. Hi. How is everyone? It's a beautiful day here in Nashville. I hope it's beautiful where you are. It's very breezy today, windy, and here's a little hint. This is day 4 of transit week, and the mode of transit that we are drawing today, much like yesterday actually, this would be really good weather for being on a ship with big sails. That's what we're drawing today. I think that most people would call what we're going to draw today a pirate ship. But if you don't dig pirates and if you want to make other sorts of things sailing your ship, then that is up to you. But I think I'm going to sort of model mine after a pirate ship, but there's going to be a lot of detail today in my drawing. As always, you can make any adjustments to your drawing that you would like to make. I was a little slow today, and I posted, 15 minutes ago that I'm just going to be using pencil today. But I'm going to have 3 pencils sitting here next to me because I don't know which one I'm going to want to use. So we're going to warm up a little bit first, because one of the things that's going to be important today is knowing, and I've talked about this in some of my lessons, knowing how to draw really lightly at first and then drawing some lines a little bit darker. And the technical art term for that is line weight. It's almost like whether a line is really light and airy or whether it's heavy and dark. So that's called line weight. And I'm gonna I forgot to tell you, if you have a little extra piece of paper, or if you want to turn over the piece of paper that you are working on, you can do just this little warm-up with me. And it's not really going to be a warm-up that's about shapes today. It's going to be a warm-up that is about exploring different weights of line. So if I'm drawing this line, that is a super whisper. That's like really a very light line. This one gets a little darker. We could still erase that pretty easily. And as we go, our pencil can get louder and louder or heavier and heavier. So we've got all of these different line weights, and the way that you get those different darknesses is how hard you press down. You can even see that I even sort of indented my paper there because I was drawing so hard. So that's how you get kind of the darkest line possible. And then if you're barely touching the paper with your pencil, hi Case, if you're barely touching the paper with your pencil, you're getting a much lighter line. And like you've heard me say before, I like to call these my whisper lines, and these are my scream lines. I'm not going to scream because sometimes that gets a little loud. Now, another little bit of info for you is, if we got really technical, we could talk about the fact that there are different pencils made for sort of different darknesses. So this pencil is gonna, hi Salem, hi Celia. This pencil is gonna give me a slightly fatter line than this pencil did because it's a softer graphite. You might not want all of this information, but I'm giving it to you anyway because I think it's kind of fun. And then this guy is super soft graphite, and so you get a really just luscious, fat line. So that is just our little our little lesson in line weight and different kinds of pencils that you can have available to you. So, yeah, I could go on and on about that, but we need to get started because we have a ship to draw. And I have been having a whole lot of fun sketching this morning. And you have heard me say in some of my other lessons that the way that my paper is sitting right now, this is called horizontal or landscape orientation. And this would be our vertical or our portrait mode. I'm going landscape today because I'm making a ship. And that's going to be a little bit difficult with my camera, but we're just gonna do the best we can do. All right, so setting aside my little sketchbook. Let me get set up here. Thanks for your patience. Sure do appreciate y'all. Hold, please. Okay. Let me get this little guy. Oh, hey, water jar. Oh, hey, roses. Sylvie's taking a nap right now. Maybe she'll join us later. All right, you guys. So the reason that we really need to understand our very light lines and our very dark lines today is because there's going to be, on this pirate ship, there's going to be a lot of stuff that overlaps. And like the sails and the ropes, it's like when you think about a pirate ship, there is a lot going on with all of the masts, all of the sails, all of the ropes and riggings and such. So, as we're drawing today, we're going to have to kind of keep all that in mind and really whisper while we're drawing. All right, you know what's funny? I'm going to start this drawing with water because when a ship is in the water, you don't see the very bottom of the ship. I'm going to get a little closer. Sorry, y'all. All right. And here we go. I am starting. I feel like you can't. Hold on. I'm going to go way up so you can kind of get the big picture. Here we go. I'm going to start with a water line. And maybe your water does those kind of wavy things. Maybe there's waves down in front. But I'm just drawing a water line. It can be very simple. It can just be one of these things. And then, way back here, I'm going to draw, again, very lightly, a little line that curves up out of the water. And then it curves in the other direction. This is going to be the back of our pirate ship. And we're just going to do the very, very basic shape first. And then there's a line that goes up. And this is sort of where the captain's quarters are, up on the back of the ship. And then way up here, we're going to draw, sorry, you can't really, there we go. We're going to draw a line that curves up out of the water like so. So like okay, so we've got the back line and we've got our front line, and now we're going to connect them. But it's not just going to be a line that goes straight across because pirate ships do some interesting things. So go with me here. At this point here, I'm going to draw a line that goes in just straight like that. And then a line comes down. And out. And then here's where we do a sort of a swoopy smile kind of line, or like a, I don't know what to call that. It's swoopy here, but then it straightens out right here. And then it's going to swoop up again. And then this is going to come up and out. And guys, I made this a little too far out. So I'm going to do this. And this right here is sort of where the nose of the ship is. So that is sort of the shape, that's kind of the basic shape of our ship. Ship shape. All right, now with some very, very whispery lines, I'm going to do from way, way, way up here, I'm going to do a line that comes straight down to our base of our ship. And this is going to be sort of our central mast. And I'm going to turn that line into a bar. Looks like a big wooden mast, big pole. And then I'm going to do another one of those, sort of back here. And it's a little bit shorter than the center one. I'm whispering, I'm doing very light lines. Then I'm going to do another mast up here. It's going to be a lot of sails. All right, so we've got our 3 masts. I am going to put 2 sails on this middle one. And here's what we need before we can put the sails on. We need lines that go across that are going to hold those sails. So I'm going to do one line that goes across here, kind of like a little crisscross. And then I'm going to do another one kind of down here. Doesn't really matter. You just put your sails, put your sort of cross bars wherever you'd like to put them. And then I'm going to imagine that the ship is going that way. This is an interesting thing to think about. So if the ship is going that way, the wind is blowing that way. So that means that the fabric of these sails would be going, so imagine the wind is blowing into the fabric and it's making it billow out this way. So it's like 2 little kind of backwards C shapes. That's not a C. You get me though. Like a parentheses. We're going to do the same thing on this sail because the wind is obviously blowing both in the same direction. And then we'll finish off the bottom of this sail, and we'll finish off the bottom of that sail. How we doing? I hope everybody's great. I'm going to really simplify the whole sail thing because, man, if I really went for it, it would be a little confusing. It's still going to be a little confusing. Now, I'm going to put 1 sail on this mast here. So we're going to do the same thing we just did here, but we're just going to put 1 of them. And I'm going to make a line that goes across there. Now guys, just trust me. See where all these, it's starting to look kind of confusing? Just trust me and go with me. And then same kinds of lines that we did on our other sails. We'll do the same thing there. And we'll finish off the sail at the bottom. So right now, looks like these sails are made out of like plastic wrap or something, because I'm seeing straight through this one to those, but we're gonna fix that in just a minute, but just hang on. Just hang on. Okay, so I'm gonna put, because I feel like it, I just feel like a little bit of variety, I'm gonna put 2 smaller sails on this front mast. So I'm gonna go little line, And just like we did these other 3 sails, we'll go and then we'll close off the bottoms of those sails as well. All right. Have I lost anyone? Is everybody good? Are we good? Good. All right, now I am going to go ahead and erase some lines. Are you ready? Do you have your eraser handy? Here's my eraser, and here I go. These sails would be in front of these big main masts. So guess which lines we're going to get rid of. Goodbye. Sayonara. Same thing here. We'll erase this little part where that sail is, because we want our sails to be the thing that are in the front. So we're getting rid of, we know that these masts are behind those sails, we just don't want to see them. Same thing up here. Erase, erase, erase. Bye-bye-bye. All right, now I see a few more lines that need to be erased, and I'm going to let you look at this for just a moment and see if you can pick out which lines need to say adios. I think this one. Magic. And I think this one. So, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, because we were whispering with our very, very light pencil lines, we now have a pretty wonderful start to our drawing, and it really looks very much like this sail is in front of those, and that all of these sails are in front of our masts. All right, now one little detail thing that we got to do is we got to put these little kind of nubbins sticking out at the tops of our sails, because that is going to make us believe that there is a little wooden, not little, they're huge, but that there is a big wooden bar that these sails are attached to. So at the tops and the bottoms of all of your sails, you're just making these little nubs like that. Looking fine. All right, now we're gonna take a break up here for just a moment, and we're gonna come down here and put some of the details on our sort of body of our ship. I don't know about you, but if I were a sailor on this ship, I would want a little bit of, protection. So I just put a big sort of rectangle on the top of this back part of the ship, and I'm just gonna turn that into kind of a little railing so that our sailors don't fall off. Like that. And then it's fun to imagine that this is the captain's quarters. And I don't know if you've ever seen, like Captains of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, sorry. Or Hook, or any of those movies where there is a pirate ship and there's sort of a special little area at the back of the boat. Sorry guys, it's out of focus. At the back of the boat where the captain has his special little room. So maybe this is his big window, and he sits there with his eyeglass. And then maybe there's another little window like right here, and it's an arch window like that. I don't know, that's kind of fun. And then I think there should be a little lantern that hangs off the back of the boat. What do you think? And maybe there's like a little floopy, everything is very decorative. So there's like a little, and here's how I'm going to do my lantern. I'm going to do a little sort of upside down V shape like that. And then have two lines. It kind of looks like a birdhouse. And a little line at the bottom, and a little line there. It really looks like a house. And then just put these little lines, and then you can put lines like that, and it makes it look like a little lantern. All right, now down here, sometimes there are rows and rows and rows of windows in the base of a ship, and then sometimes there are just maybe where the cannon, what are those called? Where the cannons go. Sort of little portholes. And so I just put 4 on mine, and I'm keeping it pretty simple, but if you wanted to do like a big row of windows here, maybe that's where all the sailors' quarters are down in the bottom of the ship, I don't think that would be very much fun. That's just me. So I'm drawing a circle inside a circle. And if you even wanted to put cannons sticking out of those things, I'm not going to do that right now, but that is an option. And then I like to think, and I think that up here there would be the little hole where the anchor is on the side of the ship. So it would kind of come out like this. Let me get real close so y'all can see. And we're going to have sort of the main part of the anchor. I mean, for a ship this large, you would need a pretty big anchor. So I'm going to make mine kind of large. And then it's like a little cross, has like a little cross bar like that. And then it has sort of a little floop, floop, like that. Those parts that kind of grab on at the bottom of the ocean. Okay. Now I'm also going to put, sorry, it's out of focus. I'm going to put a little bit of just sort of trim on this. I'm just going to follow that line. Just making it look like there's, you know, just like a little extra sort of rim. Okay, cool, cool. And I also, right now, our ship has 0 ropes, so we're definitely going to need those, but I get confused by where the ropes go, but I'm going to imagine that sometimes they have like ropes that hang on the side of the ship. So I just made these little places on the side of the ship where I'm going to imagine that there are just lots and lots of ropes just hanging out on the side of the ship, you know, for whenever they need them. Like that. Okay, good. And these sort of little this like sort of trim that I put on the ship up here, I'm gonna put it back here as well. And just because I want to make it look kind of fancy, I'm gonna put a little curl thing in the back because I think that looks neato. And do you know what else ships a lot of times have? Is something called a figurehead. And it sometimes is a mermaid, like it's always sort of a carved wood sculpture that they attach to the front of the ship. And I did a little bit of looking this morning, and I saw some that were lions. I saw one that was a unicorn. I saw one that was a lady. I saw one that looked a little bit like, Triton. Wait, the guy that lives under the water. Is that him? The guy who, yeah, you know who I mean, with the pitchfork and the everything. I am going to put an eagle, I think, on the front of my ship. You can put whatever figurehead you want to put on your boat. I'm going to put the wing. Poseidon! Thank you. Gosh. Ariel's dad, exactly. Poseidon and Triton are two different guys, I suppose. I'm really showing my ignorance. I'm also showing my ignorance with this eagle, but I'm just going to go for it. It's just a bird. Let's just call it a bird. Boop, boop, boop. So that's like a pretty little decoration on the front of my ship. Now, you know what really is one of my favorite parts about drawing a ship are the cute little flags that wave at the top of our mast poles. And remember, let's think about it. If our wind is blowing that away, then that means that our little pennant flags would also be flying that away. I have made the mistake before of making the flags go in the wrong direction, and I'm just not going to do that again. All right. So let's say this is the little place where the flag is attached. And I like to just do a little like that. And then another little line that looks like it, but that gets closer and closer to it until it makes like a little wavy triangle. And then I'll put a little dot on top. All right, let's try that one more time. Uh-oh, I'm got dangerously close to the top of my paper. Boop. All right, so let's try that again. And uno más. And this is where maybe, I don't know, if you do want to make yours a pirate ship, maybe you have a giant black flag that's flying right under that guy. I think I'm just going to leave mine just regular. I don't think I'm going to do a pirate flag, but you go for it. Or let's say you put a flag on there and you put, I don't know, a kitty cat or, a soccer ball or whatever. It's your ship. Okay. Do you know what else we got to have? Is the crow's nest. This is the place on a ship where I don't think I would like to be. I don't think that I would like to be the person standing way up in this sort of basket that's on the top of a ship's mast, but somebody's got to do it. All right. How we doing, folks? I feel like our sails need a little sort of those little lines that make it look like there is wind in the sails. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do these kind of lines kind of like that. And it makes it look kind of like there's motion and movement. I forgot my nubbins right here. And I definitely am feeling like I need to put the wooden, the lines of kind of the wood slats that would be on the side of the ship. So I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to use really, really light lines. And you don't have to do this part if you don't want to. And I'm going to make them kind of large so that I don't have to do tons and tons of them, because I'm feeling lazy currently. I could go back and add at any time. And it's okay if they're not perfectly spaced. It was built by hand, this ship. Boop, boop. All right, does anybody think that we are missing anything at this point? Anyone have any ideas about things that I should add? And now that I have all of my whispery lines in place, I could go back. We could put people. I'm going to let you guys be in charge of that, in charge of your own people, because if I start drawing people, I'll be here for forever and ever. Yeah, I thought about a captain's wheel. Where would that be? Would it be kind of back here-ish? I think, maybe? Cannons could be really fun. You know what? I'm going to do the top half of the captain's wheel. And so it's just going to look, Casper, you're right. Lots of people have lots of great ideas. All right, so if it's a wheel and I'm just seeing the top part of it, let's say it might look something like that, and then here are the little handles that kind of come up. What do we think? Is that good? You're kind of looking at it from the side, sort of. I like it. Good idea. Dolphins is a great idea. Yes, yes, ma'am. You know what we don't have yet? We don't have what we would call our horizon line, which would be the water that's way off in the distance. Like when you're at the beach and you look way out as far as the eye can see, and you see that very sharp line where the water meets the sky. All right, so now that really gives us sort of a grounding of our ship. Not ground because it's not on ground, but you get me. All right, so dolphins. Somebody said dolphins. I'm going to make it look like there is a dolphin that just jumped out of the water and then just splashed back in the water. Boop, boop. Or maybe it's a mermaid. Hey, who knows? All right, I feel like I missed, cannons. Cannons could be really fun. I think I'm just gonna do one cannon right here just to show you how I would do the cannon. And then you could certainly do it in all the other little portholes. But it would be sort of a little, out from that middle circle would be kind of a little, this would be the two lines coming out, and then this would be the opening of the cannon. So it looks sort of like, so that's where the bonk bonk. So let's say he's shooting a cannonball. Does that make sense? I think that kind of works. Yeah, cannons are fun. Yeah, I could draw, oh my gosh, you know what we need? We don't have any of the ropes that, and this is a really good thing to do this very, very last, because the ropes are, you don't want to get those underneath the other stuff, or you know what I mean. And I'm not going to draw every single rope, but I'm going to say a rope would be coming out this way. Maybe a rope would be coming out this way. Maybe this one would go that way, but I'm drawing them really lightly because I just don't want them to get in the way of too much stuff. Maybe this guy is tied off back here. I'm gonna call it on the ropes, but, and then maybe you could go in here, like when you start coloring yours, you could go in here and make these look kind of dark, so you can kind of see that the inside of the ship is kind of dark. All right, I feel like, yeah, we definitely need some clouds. And you know what I'm gonna do instead of clouds? I'm gonna do some little wind lines. Clouds would be good to go with the wind lines. But I'm just gonna do a bunch of wind. Yeah, that makes it look like this ship is really going somewhere. And I'm going to put a sun kind of way back and kind of low in the sky. Or maybe it's the moon. I don't know. Maybe I'll turn this into a nighttime drawing. I kind of like that idea. So if you wanted to add all of the people, all of the little sailors, because it's gotta man your ship, I probably, kind of like when we did our hot air balloons, I would probably just make them silhouettes. I would just make little shapes of people, because doing all, and maybe he's like grabbing a rope or something, and maybe he's wearing a hat. I think I would just do like little shapes of people. And maybe, you know what? Maybe there is a parrot sitting up here. Maybe he's the navigator. Maybe there's one back here too. Just little silhouettes. All right, so because this was a very detailed and sort of long lesson, I am going to go ahead and let you all go for today. But you know what I'm going to do when I turn off this camera? I'm going to go back in, because all of my lines are very whispery. And I'm going to go back and I am going to take some of the more important lines and I'm going to darken them. Sorry. So that's what I'll be doing when I say goodbye. And then you could put kind of some shading on some places. There's all kinds of really fun things that you could add to this drawing. I don't think I'm going to add color to mine, but you know me, I like to say things and then I change my mind. So, but I think this is going to do it for today. I'm going to put some smaller waves back here. All right, that was fun. I hope you guys liked that. Transit week has been just packed with fun and goodness. And we have one more day. All right, so as always, I would just love to see any of the drawings, any and all of the drawings that you are making and have made. And you can send them to me, or you can post it yourself. And wow, Mom, she is really good at drawing. That warms my heart. Thank you. So, there's the end of the class clap again. There it is. Remember to wash your hands and put on some lotion so you don't get dry and crackly. Drink your water. Go outside. Breathe deeply. Be good to one another. And send me your pirate ship drawings. I'd love to see. Until tomorrow, I was trying to think of like pirate speak, but I'm really drawing a blank. All I can think of is "Arr, mateys." That's all I got. But until tomorrow, all my love to all of you, and we'll see you mañana.